Hi, this is Mashnu, and I would like to show you a game that I played this afternoon on ChessCube, and it was a slow game with 1 hour thinking time for each player, and it lasted only 17 moves. My opponent just made some mistakes early in the game, so he got this terrible position. Let's have a look. He played d4. I was playing black here, knight f6, and I played the Benoni like this. Knight c3, g6, and now g3. And well, I think that's yesterday I played this game against Brandon, and played h3, the h3 variation. Now this is the g3 variation, where white places the bishop on g2, fianchettoing, so supporting the pawn on d5, and well, it's a completely different approach. I castled here, he castled, and I play rook to e8 to prevent e4. That's my idea. And he played h3 here, and actually the most common move in this position is to play knight to d2, with the idea of still trying to play e4 later. So here, if black plays knight to d7, well, then perhaps e4 is already possible to play e4. I don't know much theory about this. Well, that's actually one of the things that I do know the main lines of some openings and defenses, but I don't know exactly the finesses, the subtle variations and things, because I like to understand the main ideas of an opening and then try to figure it out during the game itself, instead of studying for hours with an opening book and watching lines that will perhaps never appear in my games. So, well, anyway, here knight to d2 and e4 is the most logical idea. He played h3, so he prevents any knight g4 or bishop g4 thing. And here I played knight to a6. Now my idea with knight to a6 is to place the knight on c7, and then with a6 and b5, or perhaps even without a6, simply b5, to try to push this pawn to b4, so this pawn becomes weak. That's the idea of knight to a6. Also the knight on c7, oops, let me do it like this, will be attacking, just like the other knight, attacking the d5 pawn. So these are, let's say, strategical ideas of the Benoni. And I expected here my opponent to play knight to d2 with the same idea that I just mentioned, but he played rook to e1, and he's preparing e4 in a different way. So I decided to try to prevent his normal play. So I stopped my own plan. I didn't play knight to c7 here, but I played bishop to f5 with the idea of controlling e4. So it's very difficult for him now to play e4, but he has, of course, the g4 move, and that's what he did, g4. Here perhaps he didn't expect this. I had seen this move, g4, and normally in the Benoni, black likes to exchange this light square bishop for a knight. Bishop g4 and knight takes f3 is often played in other variations. So here I played bishop to e4 like this, and my opponent thought for quite a long time, so I think this was a bit of a surprise for him. He played now bishop to f4, attacking the d6 pawn, and it is logical in the sense that yes, he is attacking my weakest point, and with the idea of perhaps playing knight to b5 like this and then capturing d6, and to prevent this and to continue with my own strategy, I played knight to c7 here. And here it looks as if already white is a bit cramped. His e pawn is still on e2, and that's the annoying thing for white. He should have this pawn on e4, and then things would be okay. But with the pawn on e2, still I control this e4 square, and I'm attacking now the d5 pawn heavily. Let's see, he played here knight to g5, and I took on g2, so one of the defenders of the pawn on d5 is now gone, and the next move is b5. I'm threatening b4, and then he must leave the d5 pawn defenseless. Here he made a mistake. I think perhaps it was a calculation mistake, although the position is difficult for white anyway. But it made a very strange move. It played f3, and I think that his idea is to play e4, of course, to support e4 even more and play it. But after b4, I'm almost winning already. This knight went to e4, and now I simply took here on d5, and it's actually all over. I'm threatening to take on f4. If he moves bishop takes d6, then there is knight e3 forking king and queen, and if he takes with the knight, then there is the knight takes f4 check. So I think perhaps when he played f3, he didn't realize that he couldn't take on d6 later. Perhaps he thought it was possible, but he didn't see this fork on e3. I think that was what happened to him. But let me have a look. Let's see, knight to c7, knight g5. Did he have anything? Well, after b5 it's very difficult for him. How about a3? To prevent that, then still I can play b4, take, and then the same thing happens. So it's actually, perhaps this was a trace, or perhaps here I should have played a4 to prevent b5. But then this pawn goes lost anyway. I don't see a solution here. If a4, then I take simply on d5. I could take on e4, rook takes. Does he have anything with his bishop? No, this bishop is under attack. So bishop g3. I have a nice position. I can even take on b2 now. Oh wait, queen to c2, attacking both pieces. If I take here, takes there, and then I have to return with my bishop. Yeah, and I have simply one material. I'm 2 pawns up. He has the bishop spare, but it's not enough compensation. I have these 2 connected pass pawns. No, this is not the way. Let's return. I want to discover where he really went wrong, because perhaps here I should have played knight to d2 to prepare e4, and if I play knight to b4 here with the threat knight to c2, he can play e4. Knight to e3, no, it's not enough. Bishop d7 doesn't look right. Let's return. This looks nice for white. So here knight to d2. Oops, sorry. Knight to d2. Do I have anything else? I cannot. No, I cannot prevent e4. So there is no other thing than knight to d4. Yeah, this was the correct way to play with white, because if I go back to d7, oh, this doesn't look good. d6 is still weak. Knight to c4 attacking d6. Queen to c7. We can go bishop f4 now, and this is going to fall. So whoa. Knight b4. Wait, I'll put the engine on. Let's see what Fritz thinks about this position here. Okay, at the moment it's evaluated as equal and a slight advantage for white. And it says that the best move is knight to b4. Now here, if e4, that's the best move for white. It says queen to d7. Queen? Excuse me, what's happening here? Is my engine going crazy? Queen to d7. What if it takes here simply? Oh wait, there is rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and then knight c2. Oh, that's something that... yeah, knight to c2. Queen d1, and then take on a1. Well, that's something that's... well, you really need to see this. It's not easy to find this kind of moves. But he also suggests knight to d3. See, knight to d3. Rook to e3. He says, why not take... oh no, I'm going to take, of course, only one. Rook to e3. Knight takes c1. And then e takes f5. Rook takes e3. F takes e3. And then try to save this knight here. So then the position is... well, let's see. He takes here, I take there. How do we evaluate this? Material is equal. This is a weakness on d6, but he has only a light squared bishop. So, well, knight c4 and the other knight to b5 to attack d6. That would be a possible plan for white. And this pawn here is a bit backward, so it could be attacked later. Well, let's say it's unclear. It's chances for both sides, but this would be the correct way to play it. So this was the moment that he made the mistake. So g4 is simply not correct then. The bishop to e4. Okay, the engine says now that white still has chances if he plays g5. Let's see, g5. If he plays g5, then knight must go to d7, and then queen to b3. Well, wait a minute, he changes his mind. Knight takes e4, rook takes e4, now knight d2. Yeah, yes, looks absolutely correct. If rook to e8, then knight e4, and here the position is better for white, clearly. attacking this d6 square. So that means that what I did was very creative, this bishop e4 idea, but it was not completely sound, not completely correct. Okay, well, interesting. Well, as you see, even if we have more thinking time, it's difficult to really see all these possibilities, and of course engines find these lines and evaluate immediately and quite accurate. So it's of course instructive to review our games with the use of an engine, but at the same time we must understand that the engine is something that we cannot, a level that we cannot achieve. It's well, we can use it as a tool to understand a bit more and to learn a bit more, but we cannot expect to play at that level. Well, thank you for watching. This was the game that I wanted to show you now, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.